Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, we return to Transformers EarthSpark as we review episodes 11 and 12 in the first season, now streaming on Paramount Plus. Today is Friday, April 21st, 2023, and this is episode 334 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that needs ghost agents in EarthSpark to be a little bit more suspicious of vehicles that move by themselves. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Yo. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and give us your support. It's your donations keep us going, keep the show going, and keep us in business here. So we really appreciate that those contributions. We do want to welcome a brand new Donatreon to the team. So welcome to Thomas, who signed up for a yearly donation. So they have committed for the whole year. Thank you, Thomas, for signing up.
Yeah.
You're awesome. And we hope you enjoy all the perks. So, of course, one of those perks is getting access to our bonus shows. One of those bonus shows done by Cybertronian Beast and Dr. Pants right there. That said, We Like Big Bots. And that show is going strong for 10 episodes, and then it's on hiatus for a little while. But
By no fault of mine.
That's true. We'll get Dr. Pants back soon, but you guys have fun on the We Like Big Bots, showing off those giant Transformers you have, those giant mounds of plastic. So we'll get some more back, and I think Dr. Pants said a little bit over a month he might be able to come back. So we'll see. But yeah, check those out. Those are all the other ones are on our Patreon page. So if you are a Donatron, you will have immediate access to We Like Big Bots right now. Of course, the other awesome bonus show we do is for our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And this week we have episode 100, part 1. So we are episode 100 is special because it's 2 parts. It's a 2-part episode. And this week, the bonus version of episode 100 part 1 is available on our Patreon page. Then the regular version of episode 100 part 1 is going up on our main feed next Monday. So it'll be there at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Episode 100 is titled "This Was a Triumph." So sounds like we're ending on a positive note. We're getting hitting a milestone, getting to a positive note for Empire of Rust. So hopefully the party is winning the battle they've been in for the last few episodes. So you'll have to check it out. And it looks like it's a big battle because this is spanning two parts of this giant episode. So check that out on our Patreon page and then at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Okay, so let's move on and we will jump in to our main show where we've got some reviews that we're starting off. Okay, so this week it's the return of our reviews for Transformers EarthSpark. So Daryl finally found, or no, actually, I think Jeremy found it on the high seeds, and got access to the next batch of EarthSpark episodes and shared that with the group. So we are now
did
do it. Sadly, Jeremy couldn't make it this week, but we will continue on. We'll do a review. He'll be back next week so he can review the next few episodes. But we're doing the first 2 episodes of the second part of season 1. So these are episode 11, #Oops, and then episode 12, Outtakes. So these are the first 2 episodes, and they do feature heavily the 2 of the new, or actually all 3 of the new EarthSpark Terran kids that are brother or siblings to Twitch and Thrash, and the Malto kids. So it delves into their getting adjusted to being Transformers and being trained and learning how to live on Earth and be integrated into their family and their new family. So, and again, I think this also followed the pattern. So these 2 episodes, one episode was very like action oriented and heavy, lots of stuff going on, and then the second episode was a little bit slower, more like family message thing, not a whole lot of action, but still some interesting things happened in that episode. So we'll get into each of these episodes. So first was episode 11, #Oops, and that featured the new sister of the Malto family, #, and she's very online. So she's very into watching streaming stuff, watching stuff online, and she's into just Earth media in general is her favorite. That's her jam. But the episode starts off. The focus of the episode is on I should say, sorry, before I go any further, this is a spoiler full episode, so we're getting into full spoilers for both of these episodes. If you have not watched the next episodes of EarthSpark yet, skip this episode and skip this podcast and go watch them before you come back. But we are going full spoiler heavy into these EarthSpark episodes. So
if you are a Patreon of our show, then you can get access to the episodes on our Discord. We have made them available there.
All right. So episode 11, #Oops. The episode starts off because the new Terran children are protoforms, so they do not have alt modes yet, and their first, the first order of business when you're a newly born Transformer, get an alt mode. And so that's so Bumblebee is introducing them, taking through the process of how to choose an alt mode. So it's very interesting. And of course, another interesting thing is that we have the non-binary Transformer Nightshade, who also does not want an alt mode, which is interesting because we have had that in the past of we've had Action Masters, we've had the militant monoform movement back in More Than Meets the Eye. So we have lots of precedent of Transformers not having an alt mode, and so Nightshade is continuing that trend there with they say they don't want an alt mode, and everyone's fine with that. So, but hashtag and Jawbreaker do want to choose an alt mode. So hashtag is kind of like, she's distracted. She's like, I'm watching my shows. I'm not really super interested in this, but Twitch, as the big sister, she's tiny, but she's the big sister. She wants to help out her little sister hashtag and help her pick an alt mode. But hashtag is just she's really into her shows. Like, she's watching her stories. She doesn't want to. She's super distracted. So so Twitch takes her to the supermarket since there's lots of cars there in the parking lot, to help her pick an alt mode. And unfortunately, hashtag picks a ghost van as an alt mode, just because that's the first thing she sees. She just imprints on it and immediately gets it. And wouldn't you know it, since there's a ghost van in the parking lot, she transforms into the ghost van. She's there. She's parked before in front of the other ghost van. So the ghost agents are coming out of the supermarket, getting to her instead of their actual van, and they drive her back to Ghost headquarters. and hijinks ensue. So this is the whole episode is Twitch and Bumblebee have to figure out a way to rescue Hashtag out of the ghost facility. Hashtag figures out that since she imprinted on this van, she actually cloned the security codes of the van, so she has access to all the ghost facilities, and she has her own Wi-Fi hotspot, which she she enjoys immensely. And of course, at the end of the episode, Robbie is happy about that too, because he's said several times that the Wi-Fi sucks in Witwiki, so he's happy to get his own personal Wi-Fi. Yeah, so I mean, this episode is that's the setup. Then since Hashtag starts manipulating the the internal security system of Ghost, she accidentally shuts down the Decepticon security prison. So all the Decepticons escape, and so that's a big battle between the Ghost Agents. The Ghost Agents holding their own against the Decepticons, which I thought was interesting. And then Bumblebee and Twitch sneak in. They hook up with Hashtag. They're able to use Skull Cruncher to escape, like as a diversion. But all the Decepticons get recaptured and put back in their cells, and no one does. They do not discover Hashtag, who's actually like they call her a rogue. They think she was a rogue Decepticon, but they never see her robot mode, so she gets away relatively clean. And then at the end, now she's Dot Malto's personal van, I guess, since she works for Ghost 2. So yeah, I thought this was a fun episode. I appreciated that it was pretty action heavy with all the Decepticons battling. You have Insecticons cloning themselves. You have Soundwave fighting. You have the Skull Cruncher, Skull Cruncher didn't really talk. He seemed very much more crocodile than person. So that was interesting. And then you also see the Agent Schroeder has a sister, and his sister is his commanding officer, and she's much more hardcore than even he is. And she's still, all Decepticons are a threat. There's no good Decepticons. So that's her focus is on capturing Decepticons. And the Maltos are almost not in this episode at all. So the kids, you see them at the very end, the very beginning and the very end, and that's it. They're at school the whole day, and it's just Transformers pretty much. And also Nightshade, he finds the time to make a secret underground base for underneath the Maltos barn, which nobody noticed. I mean, he's got better skills than the guys in Better Call Saul who dug the drug the drug facility for Gus Fring. I mean, he did something. He did it so stealthily that no one noticed all the complete open compound he dug underneath the Malto family's barn. So that's nice. So they've got a new base of operations. So that's pretty cool. It's just I don't think Nightshade could have done that all by themselves, but it's a cartoon. So Apollo, what did you think of this episode? I'd be curious what your thoughts are on EarthSpark in general up to this point, including this episode.
I've really enjoyed it overall, like the show in general so far. I was really sad about the lack of Starscream in the first episodes when it was released. Like you get that one clip of him laughing. But I liked this episode a lot. I thought it was really enjoyable. I liked learning more about the new Terran characters. Like, I really like Nightshade as a character. They are really cool. Like, how they just built that, as you said, that underground area under the barn. Like, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And Hashtag herself, she's just so full of energy and just ooh, I can find out all this information. And I just thought it was really entertaining when she got the alt mode and then those agents mistake her for their van. And it's just they couldn't see the difference in the van at all. Like, you know, because like it's just so surprising that like these secret agents wouldn't see that. Something I noticed, because Starscream was shown very briefly in this episode, is that his eyes are now blue, which was really weird, like, because they were red before, and moving forward in the show, they're blue. So it's like, I'm wondering what happened. Like, were his eyes supposed to be blue, or is he like good now? So we won't know. So you just see him glaring at Agent Croft, I think that's her name. So but no, I thought this was fun. It had a lot of action and it was very entertaining. And it was kind of weird though the Maltos weren't in it really at all. So for this show, considering like it's very focused on the bonds that the Terrans have with the Malto family. But I liked it. It was a good change of pace.
Yeah. It's it was, and I like they're now Bumblebee's calling them Maltobots. Maltobots roll out. So
I like that too.
Yeah. Daryl, what did you think of this episode?
I enjoyed it. I kind of like Skullcruncher. Just the sheer berserker rage that is in Skullcruncher is appealing. Just a nasty cuss, and I think it's I like that. I think there needs to be just some bot that even the Decepticons can't really control. The choices of choosing alt modes and stuff like that seemed like a fairly significant story plot, and it's okay. I mean, it's the G1 show handled it really quickly, and got the story on their way. This show's taking its time with this, and really savoring each character's choice, and it's for me it's taking too long. I would have gathered all three bots in the same episode and done each character all in one shot. That way you can move the story along a little faster. As far as the choosing of the ghost van, I thought it was a great choice to have that. It really gave the Terrans, I guess, and the Autobots a look inside of Ghost through the that what's their name? Nightshade? Is that Nightshade? No,
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag, right? Hashtag. So it really gave them a look through the eyes of Nightshade.
Hashtag.
Not hashtag. Whatever. The ghost agents are horrible though. Like, not only did they get in the wrong van, which can be played off as a, you know, oh, we made the mistake because it's the same vehicle, identical, but they also ignored like debris everywhere. Like, when Hashtag became the van, she exploded one of the cart port things that they use, right? So there's shit everywhere, right? There's carts that are thrown into the windshields of things, and the ghost agents just ignored all of it. It's like, oh, nothing to see here, and they piss off. So, like, these agents are horrible. And then it's not even brought up that there's a ghost van sitting in this parking lot forever now. Like, do they go back for it? Do they realize they've left a van there? Like, it's just never brought up again. I mean, it's just me applying, you know, just normal logic to a cartoon, but it's what I thought about while I was watching it. I did like the action though. It was nice. The fact that the ghost agents were holding their own against the Decepticons that had escaped was a little far fetched. Um, I did like Soundwave using his sound powers on the ghost agents, which I think would like obliterate them. Right. But, you know, I don't think Soundwave's got the kindest heart to turn down the power on his sound, equipment to only just blow them off their feet instead of just, of what he uses on the regular Autobots. But either way, it was a fun episode. Suspension of disbelief is important when watching children's cartoons, so it was fun.
Yeah, I did like the one ghost agent who has this big like handcuff launcher. He launches it at Hardtop, who only has one arm, and he's like, yeah. Hardtop looks at him like, "What are you doing? That's not going to work."
Yeah.
I did think that at the very least, I was happy to see that even though like I guess the junior ghost agents who actually drove the van, they were clueless, but at least the agent, like when Agent Schroeder's like sees the van, he's like, "Oh, that's a Decepticon in disguise. We got to catch it." So at least he was like, he figured out, okay, it's a Transformer. But yeah, the three agents who were driving the vans, like, come on, guys. You guys are the Transformer cops. That should be your first suspicion. Whenever there's a car moving on its own, it's a Transformer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was fun. And yeah, Hashtag is an interesting character. She's very, and it continues. We get a little bit more of her, in the second episode too, even though the second episode is supposed to be more focused on Jawbreaker, but we do get a little bit of her as well. So let's jump into the second episode, and that was Outtakes. And as you said, Daryl, they're dragging out the alt mode thing a little bit longer. So Hashtag gets her alt mode in the first episode, but Jawbreaker is taking a little extra time. So he's not sure what to do. He needs a little bit more advice. He needs to seek help from everyone else to figure out what the right alt mode is for him. I thought one line in the show, he says, "When I look at a car or a truck, I don't feel anything." And then I think Alita says to him, "Well, it doesn't have to be a vehicle. It can be anything." And Jawbreaker's like, "Really?" So that makes me think Jawbreaker might be a beast former, like turn into some animal or something. We'll see. But yeah, it's interesting to see how Jawbreaker he's very much like the gentle giant guy. So he's very, very sensitive, but he's bigger and he likes to give hugs, which I thought was funny. But yeah, I did like this. So he borrows Alex Malto's camcorder and uses it to interview people to figure out how to choose an alt mode. So he starts by interviewing Bumblebee. Like he says, "Well, tell me how to pick the right alt mode, since you picked the wrong one and had to pick it again." that pisses Bumblebee off, which I thought was funny. I also like when he interviews Megatron, and Megatron like gives him a little bit of backstory on the end of the war and why he chose his helicopter alt mode. I really like Megatron. Megatron really takes his role as kind of a mentor to the younger bots very seriously. He's very protective of the young Cybertronians, which I think is really cool to show. Megatron having realizing that that it's more important to preserve like the entire Cybertronian race than to continue his quest for power, and why he's very reformed here, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, so I mean, and of course, the episode at the end of the episode, we get a little bit one of those spider bots that are in the wreckage from when Mandroid we had the Mandroid attack a few episodes ago. So one of those spider bots gets reanimated and steals the camcorder, which had some sensitive information, video information that they don't want to get out. So they have to chase down the little spider bot. But when they stop him, or they stop the spider bot, they crush the camera. So that's sad. But the tape was preserved, so they were able to get the tape and edit it and make a movie. And that was the other part of the episode was hashtag taking over Jawbreaker's production, because she was so obsessed with TV shows and movies because she wants to make a real movie. So she took over the production and was so focused on making the movie rather than actually getting Jawbreaker's questions answered. So they have a little reconciliation at the end, and she apologizes for getting, so obsessed with the movie instead of helping Jawbreaker. So, and then they end and they all have a nice little movie night and they watch the movie that they made, and that's it. And Jawbreaker still hasn't picked an alt mode. He didn't pick an alt mode by the end of the episode, so it's going to be a little bit longer before Jawbreaker gets his alt mode. So that's it. So this one was definitely not action heavy. This was very much a family message episode, I'll say. So Daryl, I'm gonna start with you because I can imagine this episode did not appeal to you as much as the previous episode.
You're right. I mean, it was slower. And I just wanted them to pick their alt modes. It's just choose one already. I fully expected Jawbreaker to pick one up by the end of the episode. I was kind of surprised when they didn't land on one by the end. I kind of assumed it was, about a quarter of the way through the episode that it was not going to be a car or truck or plane, something normal. It was going to be something abnormal, maybe a boat, but the something's got to make sense for the area that they're in as well. So so maybe an animal. I mean, it's a good idea, but I mean, whatever. Whenever his spark is ready, he will choose an alt mode. The thing that I kind of kept thinking about isn't their purpose to kind of protect the human race and kind of thing, and protect the planet, whatever, from the Decepticons? And isn't an alt mode half the reason they're there? Like, isn't that to help them do the job they're there for? So, I mean, I don't know. I just figured the reason they had alt modes was to do the job they're there to do, and I don't know, by not having an alt mode, they can't do their job. So I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking. But again, it's a kids show. It seems kind of a heavy topic to throw all this stuff at kids, but just punch somebody. I mean, I get real Bulkhead vibes from him.
You want the smashy robot on robot action.
That's right. Yeah.
I get a animated Bulkhead, definitely.
Oh yeah, big time
from Jawbreaker. Yeah. Apollo, how about you? What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was okay, but I preferred the previous episode with the more action and moving the story just a little bit forward. I did like, though, the part where Jawbreaker was talking with Alita 1, and, when she mentions the T-Cog, which is really cool. And then Megatron, because Megatron is just so surprised, when Jawbreaker asked him about how he picked his alt mode. He's just like, what? And it goes into the story. And, so I liked those moments. But, and I guess them adding the little mandroid spider thing bot was their way of adding a little bit of action. But I don't know. I feel like the story, like of the main plot, needed to be moved forward a bit more.
Yeah.
In this episode, because it seems like, we had, that big finale with Mandroid, and then it's kind of like there hasn't been a lot of like moving the plot forward. Like, I liked Daryl's suggestion of like having them all figure out their alt modes in one episode, but like, he didn't even find one in this episode, Jawbreaker. So it's just kind of like, why did they, what was the point of this episode other than like a feel good family thing?
Mhm.
But yeah, it was okay. But as I said, I liked the previous one better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with both what both of you said there. Um, and I'm what I'd like is a little bit more backstory on what happened, like how is Megatron like the only Decepticon to switch sides, and like I mean you really don't see like the leader of the Decepticons switching sides, and then none of the other Decepticons agreeing with them. Like you'd think if the leader says, okay, we need to change, some of the Decepticons would go with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like most of the Decepticons were like, I guess they feel like Megatron betrayed them, but I don't know. I guess I'm wondering what the circumstances were and why, Megatron was willing to like just basically fight against his entire own army, which he was the head of. So I hope we get a little bit more of that, a little bit more information on that backstory later in the season. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think that's those are the first two episodes of the second part of Transformers EarthSpark season 1, and we will continue to review these episodes. And I think there were eight of these the second part, so we'll probably get through them pretty quickly. Um, but yeah, we'll keep watching, and then hopefully Transformers comics will come back soon at some point. We'll see. Um, but yeah, it's taken a little while. All right, well, that's our reviews for Transformers EarthSpark episode 11, hashtag Oops, and episode 12, Outtakes. And that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. And again, as we always do, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons at the end of the episode. These are the folks who continue to support us on Patreon at the highest level, and that's why we give them a nod of appreciation in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forex Lamagood and Demon Tech 82. You guys are awesome. And of course, before we go, did want to mention our Toy Hacks code. If you are buying anything from toyhacks.com, you can save 15% off with our code TM1234. So if you want to buy some Toy Hacks stickers for your figures, make sure you use our code. You can also use it with your Robot points, but you cannot use it with any other promo code. So this code has been working for several months. It works all the time, except when there's a better code available. So if you are looking to get some stuff, make sure you use that 15% off. It helps us and it helps you. Oops. Keep doing that. All right. That'll take us to the end of this episode. Apollo, thanks again for joining us this week. Anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
Well, not really, besides the Transmissions Discord. I haven't been active on social media, but the Transmissions Discord's a really safe community and very fun place as a Transformers fan to be. There's a lot of lively discussions, not only about Transformers, but about other pop culture stuff like Marvel and Star Wars and Star Trek. So I highly recommend that.
Awesome. Yeah, check that out at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. That's where you can sign up or join up. All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.